listen to this.
Greetings everyone. We are here to nourish the mind with wisdom, allowing it to awaken from ignorance and come to know its true essence, the elemental nature within. This nature is the primordial source that existed before all things, a boundless, undying essence that neither comes nor goes, neither arises nor disintegrates. It is the pure, empty, and formless life element. Remember, we are that essence, the mind itself. Right now, we are dwelling within this temporary vessel called the body. Because we are formless, we must inhabit a form. When this body disintegrates, the formless life essence seeks a new vessel to inhabit, beginning the cycle of learning anew. Most of these vessels are found among various living beings, creatures of water, land, underground, air, or even space. They are countless, like an infinite sea of forms awaiting us. The chance to inhabit a human vessel is exceedingly rare. Yet, once we gain a new form, we once again become that creature, claiming it as me, and the cycle continues. Feeding, fighting, loving, hating, until the form dies, and the cycle repeats endlessly. Why does the formless life element continue to seek a vessel, perpetually attaching to new forms? Why does it keep beginning anew each time a body perishes? This is the cycle of fabrication, the ceaseless dream-like cycle of rebirth. Just as in a dream, when one dream body dissolves, another emerges, endlessly cycling without end. We are fortunate to now be in a human form, the most advanced vessel in the three-dimensional realm. But in truth, our essence is a zero dimension, timeless, spaceless, formless. We are the clear, pure, primordial element, the original source, yet we do not know ourselves as such. Why? Because no one has told us, taught us, or pointed the way. All these formless life elements endlessly inhabit vessels, becoming fathers, mothers, siblings, children, enemies, and friends, binding together in infinite cycles of attachment, forming countless entanglements, unable to break free from the cages of form, the limitations of being human or animal, forever trapped within the boundaries of this world, unable to find the way out. When will this cycle of endless wandering come to an end? That is the key question. When will the formless life element, the mind itself, awaken to the wisdom that liberates? When will we finally realize that we are not this body, that the voice speaking right now is not who we are, that mental images, emotions, and sensations are not us? All these are merely tools we temporarily inhabit. If we can accept this truth by observing and awakening within, we will clearly see that these functions operate independently. Nothing is truly us, nothing is truly ours. For instance, if we claim that this body is ours, can we command it not to age, not to get sick, not to disintegrate and die? Inevitably, it ages. It becomes ill, afflicted by countless diseases. We once lived through our youth without a single ailment, but now we consume medicine like food, each pill a reminder that this body is nearing its expiration date, just like food that spoils if not consumed in time. This body has a limited lifespan. It may end this evening, tomorrow, or the next day. At any moment we could collapse, suffer a stroke, lose consciousness, or be struck by illness. We are perpetually on the brink of disintegration, poised to leave this vessel behind. Thus, the time we have in this human form is brief. The human body is the finest and most advanced vessel because it can think, reason, and comprehend the nature of the mind with relative ease. If we were born as another type of being, we would have no chance of understanding the nature of the mind. Other life forms lack the evolutionary capacity to grasp the nature of mind, making such realization nearly impossible for them. Yet here we are, life essence, formless, clear and pure. But we do not recognize ourselves because no one has told us, no one has taught us. From birth, our parents teach us to think, to memorize, to depend on these tools, to rely on the body and struggle to survive, to seek food, to strive, just like animals do. From the moment we are born, we struggle to survive without ever realizing who or what we truly are. All beings teach each other only about survival, eat, run, hide, then repeat. This is the cycle of the animal world, consuming one another, fleeing, hiding, and then searching for more to consume. And when the body perishes, the formless life element, our mind, does not die. It has never been born and never dies. Instead, it seeks a new vessel, starting the cycle anew. This has been happening since the first star emerged in the clear, empty, the original life element that was our true beginning. Now, imagine erasing the entire universe, the stars, the sun, black holes, every speck of dust, every shadow, every light. Erase it all until only the purest, emptiest, most transparent essence remains. This primordial essence is unimaginably pure, clear, and vast. It is the original element, the source. We might call it space or emptiness or something else, but in truth, it is nothing at all. Here there is no time, no distance, only the infinite stillness, and from this vast void, a tremendous explosion occurred, a singular point of eruption. We call it the Big Bang. A colossal surge of energy burst forth, colliding and condensing to form tiny particles of matter. These particles gathered and merged, forming clusters, generating heat and becoming stars. As they cooled, they formed planets, solar systems, galaxies, and eventually an infinite universe. From that infinite void, we too emerged. Our life essence, the formless element, clung to matter on one of those cooling celestial bodies. In the beginning, we attached tiny particles that became the first single-celled organisms. These primitive forms of life arose because the life element entered and inhabited them. Without the life essence, matter remains inert and lifeless. If we were to remove the life element from our bodies right now, the body would collapse instantly, decomposing on the spot. The heart would stop beating, the brain would cease to function, the ears would no longer hear. Even if a fire engulfed the body, it would feel nothing. But when the life essence enters a vessel, it animates it. Thus, since the dawn of time, our formless life essence has been attached to single-celled organisms, then two-celled, three-celled, and so on. We have inhabited countless forms, evolving over eons, endlessly taking on new bodies, experiencing new lives. We have been in every possible form, from the simplest to the most complex, from the very first creatures to the vast array of life that exists today. And this cycle has continued for so long that it is beyond measure, infinite. We have been everything: water creatures, land creatures, subterranean beings, winged ones. We have experienced the height of happiness and the depths of suffering. We have also been human countless times, but mostly we have been other forms of life. And as time has passed, though I speak of time in the context of this fabricated world, in reality we have never truly gone anywhere. We have never been born, and we have never died. We have never truly existed in this world or any other. All of this, the entire cycle, is a fabrication of our minds. We simply do not see the truth, and so our minds continue to seek new vessels, starting over again and again. How did we end up inhabiting this current body? We don't know, but once we find ourselves here, we assign labels: male, female, name, surname. Yet, do you realize that the life element, the mind itself, is neither male nor female? Has anyone ever told you this? The formless life essence has no name, no surname. But we impose these labels because they are mere conventions. We designate this body as so-and-so with this surname, as if the formless life essence has ever been born to parents, had children, or belonged to a family. This life element is an empty, clear essence, merging seamlessly with all things in the universe. We are all one, a single unified essence. We simply don't realize it. And that is why I have to proclaim this truth to everyone. I have recorded tapes to speak of the mind, the pure, clear, formless life element, so that we can all listen. I only speak of the core of world peace, the universal path to permanent liberation from suffering. Anyone can listen. Children, the elderly, the disabled, men, women, all genders, all races, all statuses, all religions, all nationalities. We all share the same mind, the same life essence, Yet we divide ourselves into rich and poor, your country and my country, waging wars, taking lives, seizing land that belongs to the earth itself. We create illusions, calling this piece of paper money, and we fight over it. We say this rock is gold or diamond, and we kill for it. We fabricate everything, even labeling this body with a name and surname. But can we accept this truth? When the body disintegrates and dies, where do we go? We say we don't know. Then what is it that we truly want while we are alive? We say we don't know. We want to be rich. But once we attain wealth, what do we get? Will it liberate us from the cycle of rebirth? Do you realize that every time we are reborn, it is mostly as animals, and every time we are eaten and suffer immensely? Think of a live squid dipped into spicy sauce while still writhing in pain. Imagine being that squid, captured, not yet dead, dipped into the sauce, every nerve burning, struggling to breathe, while people smile and enjoy our agony. Would we be happy? Or imagine being a fish, caught and struck repeatedly with a stick, thrashing in unbearable pain. How would we feel? Or consider being a pig? At first they feed us well, and we think they love us. But then, the very same hands that fed us take a knife and slit our throat. How would we feel then? Those who once cared for us now take our life. Would we feel joy? In each life as an animal, we suffer, we are consumed, and our minds become filled with rage, hatred, and vengeance. If I am reborn, I will eat you too, I will destroy you, we think. This cycle of anger, revenge, and suffering never ends. Yet, we are not truly these bodies. We are the formless life essence, the mind without shape. We have never truly gone anywhere, never been born, never died. We are the element that merges as one with the entire universe. Now we inhabit human vessels, but as humans, what do? We consume the very creatures we once were, water creatures, land creatures, winged beings, those who live underground. We eat them just as they once ate us. We capture a squid, dip it into sauce, and smile as it suffers. But do we realize that a life essence inhabits that squid, suffering intensely as it is devoured? Is this what we were born for? To cause suffering and then be consumed ourselves? What is the purpose of all this? Have we ever asked ourselves, who am I really? This ignorance, this unawareness, perpetuates the cycle. Remember, we are the formless life essence, the clear, boundless element without shape. We inhabit this crude physical vessel, but that is not all. We also use subtler vessels, like the voice. If we were truly physical, why would we need to rely on the voice to communicate? If we were truly sound, why would we need to use sound to convey our thoughts? The very fact that we rely on these vessels shows that we, in our true essence, have no form, no sound. We are simply a natural element that is clear, empty, and beyond all appearance. Have you ever noticed the voice that speaks within your mind? Try speaking within yourself right now. Think silently, over and over, until it becomes overwhelming, until it drives you to the point of stress, anxiety, and headaches. Have you ever experienced that? That's the inner voice we constantly rely on. We use it all the time. Now let me ask you a simple question. Why do we need to rely on this body? Why do we need to rely on this voice? Why do we need to rely on mental images? Every time we think of something, there's a mental image that appears alongside it. Try it now. Imagine going to the sea. You don't just hear the word sea, you see it. The image of a specific place appears, a beach, a coastline. Why do we rely on these images? Why do we rely on this inner voice? And beyond that, why do we cling to emotions? Think about it. Emotions arise, anger flares up, frustration burns, and suddenly we are overwhelmed by suffering. We cry, we rage, we feel consumed by the fire of anger. Why do we hold on to it? Why do we cling to suffering? We say we rely on the voice to communicate, on mental images to visualize. But why do we cling to suffering, allowing it to crush us, crying for days and nights, rolling on the ground in despair? Why do we rely on something that only brings pain? For what purpose? To suffer. Have you ever observed this? Why do we depend on these things? If we know they bring suffering, why do we cling to them? Now, let's look at happiness. Earlier we talked about suffering, but happiness is no different. Whenever we cling to emotions, whether they are pleasant or unpleasant, they are still the same. Happiness and suffering are two sides of the same coin. When a pleasant feeling arises, we grasp onto it, holding tightly, thinking, "I am so happy." But how long does happiness last? Where does it go? Before long, anger rises again, frustration, irritation, discontent. Do you see? We are still relying on emotions. Whether it's happiness or suffering, it's the same thing. They both come and go. They both arise and fade. So why do we cling to them at all? What do we gain by holding on to fleeting emotions, whether they are pleasant or painful? It's like picking up a coin. You get both heads and tails. When we rely on thoughts, we get both good and bad thoughts. When we rely on mental images, we see both pleasing and disturbing images. When we rely on emotions, we experience both pleasant and unpleasant feelings. Why do we rely on these things? And now, let's go deeper. We rely on memory. If we had no memory, we wouldn't remember anything at all. Everything would dissolve into the present moment. But why do we need memory? To remember. All right, but what do we remember? I remember how much I suffered. I remember that pain. And now, I can hold on to that anger forever. Is that why we cling to memory? And then there's perception, the most subtle of them all. Right now we are hearing a sound. We are aware of this sound on its own. We smell something and we are aware of the scent. We taste something and we are aware of the flavor. We feel warmth or coldness and we are aware of the sensation. We see something and we are aware of the sight. Why do we rely on this act of perceiving? What are we truly trying to grasp? Why do we cling to these things? Is it because we want to be born again? Do we want to keep coming back to this endless suffering? Do we want to be reborn as animals, only to be eaten, or to eat others, or to go through endless cycles of anger, hatred, and vengeance? Do we truly want to keep being reborn into suffering? Think about it. Has anyone ever taught us these things since we were young? If everyone in the world had been taught to know the mind from childhood, if everyone realized that we are the formless life element, clear, pure, empty, and boundless, then we would all know that we are the immortal essence that is without form, without self. This essence is not dependent on anything. It is one with the entire universe, and it knows everything without exception. And in that knowing, there is no more suffering. Once we realize this formless life element, we will know how foolish it was to cling to anything as me or mine. We will understand that we have been living in a world of illusion, a world of fabricated conventions. It is as if we have been living inside a dream, but now we realize it's just a dream. No matter what happens, we will not suffer from it because we know it's not real. We just wait for the body to dissolve, and then we wake up, and that will be the end of it. Imagine if, from the moment we were born, our parents taught us that we are the mind, the formless life element, a pure, empty, and clear essence. Imagine if they told us, this body is not truly yours, it's just a temporary vessel you're inhabiting. The voice you hear coming from your parents right now, that voice is something you are using temporarily. It is not your voice, you're just relying on it for now. You came to inhabit this body, and with it you received a bonus, the ability to use this voice for communication. But it's not yours. Observe closely. It thinks and speaks on its own inside the mind, doesn't it? Can you see it clearly? That's it. Understand this deeply. It's not your voice. Notice how it thinks by itself. If you cling to it, it will keep thinking until your head hurts. Don't hold on to it. Let it think on its own. You are merely borrowing it. You are borrowing this body and this voice. And the same goes for mental images. Now that you have this body, you can imagine things. It comes with emotions too, pleasant emotions, unpleasant emotions, but remember, you are merely borrowing them. You came to inhabit this body, and with it, you got this package deal, the ability to think, to feel, to imagine. It's all just a temporary package. Everything here is free, and we are just borrowing it temporarily. Don't get swept away by painful emotions. Don't cling to joyful emotions either. These things are just temporary tools passing through. The voice your parents are using to speak to you right now, we call it voice, but in truth it has no name. It's just a vibration used for communication. Look closely, nothing here is truly ours. It's all functioning on its own. Right now we are hearing this voice. Do you see how it hears on its own? We don't have to try to hear it. It hears by itself. It perceives by itself. It sees by itself. It senses smells by itself. It tastes flavors by itself. It feels warm and cold by itself. Notice carefully, it's all happening by itself. It remembers on its own, sometimes remembering, sometimes forgetting. Just observe and understand deeply. None of this is truly us. If adults had taught us this since childhood, if they had repeatedly reminded us in this way, we would have known from a young age that there is nothing here that truly belongs to us. We are just passing through, borrowing these tools for a while, nothing more. Remember this, I intend to create a new era, an era in which everyone must realize the nature of the mind, an era in which the knowledge of mind awakening is integrated into the education system, from kindergarten to doctoral studies. Everyone must listen to my recordings over and over until my voice echoes within the mind, until it becomes a part of your consciousness. Keep listening until the mind begins to feel lighter, clearer, and more at ease. The more you listen, the more the sense of self will dissolve, bit by bit, releasing the grip of ego. The deeper your understanding, the less confusion remains. Listen until it sinks deeply into the heart, until you clearly see that the sense of self is just a fabrication. Then the illusion of self will unravel, and what remains is the pure element, merging with the entire universe, simply waiting for the vessel to disintegrate. Once the body breaks apart, it's over. No more births, no more suffering. Within this pure element there is only clarity, boundless, immaculate, and utterly free of suffering. Our task is simply to reverse the flow and awaken within, to see clearly that the knowing that perceives right now is perceiving on its own. Observe closely. The mind is thinking on its own. It is speaking on its own. It is imagining on its own. Look carefully. Where is the self in all of this? If the voice speaks by itself, if the thoughts think by themselves, then who is speaking right now? Who is thinking? Where is the self in all of this? Understand this deeply. If you can see that the inner voice speaks on its own, that the thoughts arise and dissipate on their own, and that the emotions of happiness and suffering are fabricated by the mind itself, then ask yourself again, where is the self? Is there a self at all? Let the mind answer. Let it see clearly. This is the way to observe and understand. Ask yourself in this way. Look in this way. There is no need to concentrate intensely or force yourself to look. Just observe naturally from the moment you wake up until you fall asleep, living your life as usual. Keep listening to my words over and over, allowing the understanding to deepen, allowing the mind to see the truth for itself. Anyone who realizes the nature of the mind will experience something truly extraordinary. Every child will no longer be addicted to games, no longer drawn to drugs or substances. They will be mindful, focused, and wise, profoundly insightful in all knowledge. They will become individuals who uplift their nation and the world, contributing to its growth and prosperity. And they will not harm one another, will not kill or destroy, will not fight over land or resources. Instead, everyone will live together peacefully, sharing and supporting one another. Why? Because they will see clearly that there is no self to defend, no self to claim or cling to. Why compete, fight, or destroy when there is no one to claim as me or mine? Imagine discovering that we have always been this clear, pure, boundless element, an immortal essence that has never been born and never dies. We are this empty, luminous element that merges with the entire universe. Once we see that we are not truly human, that we have never truly existed as separate beings in this world, a profound realization will dawn. It will feel as though we were once wearing a theatrical mask, a role in a grand play, but now we see that the role was never real. We can still play our parts, but we are no longer consumed by them. Before, we were completely lost in our roles, believing them to be real, reacting to every scene as if it were the ultimate reality. But once we awaken to the truth that this is just a play, a stage where we wear masks as father, mother, child, sibling, property owner, rich person, poor person, official, husband, wife, then suddenly we wake up and think, wait a minute, this is all a play. None of this is real. The moment we understand this, the intensity of our attachment to these roles dissolves. We will no longer feel compelled to fight, argue, or cling to anything. We will look at people arguing over land and think, why fight? The earth belongs to the earth, why claim it as ours? Or if we find ourselves making money through business and others envy us, desiring to be rich like us, we will tell them, why do you want so much? You can only eat one meal at a time. This money is just paper, it's just a fabrication. Before, we were so lost in the play that we almost went insane with stress, desperately wanting to be rich, to be powerful. But once we realized that this world is just a stage, a temporary setting, we see that we are merely borrowing this body, this voice, these mental images, these emotions and these sensations. We are just passing through, playing a role for a short while. And once we see this clearly, the suffering ceases. The play continues, but we are no longer captivated by it. We are awake. We have no form. That is why we rely on these fabrications. We rely on the vessel of the body because we have no body. We rely on the tools of sound, images, emotions, perception, because we do not possess these tools ourselves. The life element is formless, utterly clear, merging seamlessly with the entire universe. To illustrate this more clearly, imagine erasing the body entirely. What remains? Only the mind and its manifestations. And what are those manifestations? The voice that is currently speaking. Do you see that it is not truly the voice? Now erase the voice. What remains? Mental images. Erase the mental images as well. Now, what is left? You cannot think anymore, you cannot speak anymore, the mental images are gone. What is left? Emotions. Now, erase the emotions, the happiness, the suffering, the indifference, remove them all. Now there are no emotions. You were merely relying on them. Let them go. What remains? Memory. Now, erase all memory, everything you have ever remembered, until there is no memory left. What remains? Just a dull, blank perception. Now erase perception itself. Now what is left? Nothing. Nothing remains. There is no self. That is the life element, completely empty, utterly pure and formless. We are that pure element. We are the original element, the source, uncontaminated by any fabrication. The formless, clear, and pure life element creates manifestations, sound, images, emotions, perception, memory. These are just tools, fabricated phenomena. Once they arise, they cling to a vessel, a form. Thus there are three layers: the outer shell, which is the body, the middle layer, which consists of thoughts, emotions, perception, the fabricated mind, and the innermost layer, which is the formless, clear, pure life element. Understand this deeply. We are the life element without form. If we truly grasp this to the point where the mind accepts it and sees it clearly, the illusion will dissolve. For instance, imagine you're walking to the corner of the street to buy a roti with egg and banana. You think to yourself, should I get roti with egg and banana? It's 30 baht. Oh, that's a bit expensive. Maybe I should buy rice instead. 30 baht would be more filling. Then the mind continues, but 30 baht isn't that filling, is it? Maybe the roti is better. Can you hear that inner voice speaking like this? Can you see how it keeps thinking, what should I get? Maybe the roti, or maybe rice with grilled pork. But it's not that filling. No, I'll just get the roti. Can you see how it thinks like this on its own? That is the fabricated mind, the middle layer, the layer we rely on but is not truly us. Observe it closely, recognize that it thinks, speaks and deliberates all on its own. And what is it clinging to? Only fabrications, only illusions. As you're walking, if you suddenly become aware of how the mind is thinking like this, tears may start to fall. You might suddenly realize, wait, all of this I've been relying on thoughts, it's been thinking on its own all along. then who is the one speaking right now? Father, mother, house, car, family, are all of these just this voice, the one that keeps labeling everything as this and that? Tears flow. It's as if everything we ever believed, from birth until now, that we are human, that we have this life story, that we are this person with this name, all of it shatters, exploding into fragments. It's like a hard drive that has been storing data for years, and suddenly all the data is erased. Nothing remains. It's as if we had a phone filled with pictures, videos, and stories capturing every memory. But then, a virus wipes it all away, leaving nothing behind. And what happens then? It's light, it's clear, it's empty. With all that data erased, the device is empty and spacious, ready to record anew. There's more memory space, more capacity to hold data, but now it's free, light, and unburdened. If we can see that the voice that has been thinking all along is just this voice, thinking and speaking by itself, it becomes clear that it is not anyone's voice. It is merely a natural process that arises when we inhabit a body. If we were animals, we would have the voice of an animal communicating in the language of animals, but we get lost in believing that this voice is truly ours. We hear someone call us fat pig and instantly we react. But consider this, the word fat pig is just a sound, like a dog barking, woof woof. They're both just noises. Do you understand? But we get swept away by these sounds, believing they hold some real substance, believing they truly have a self behind them. But can you grasp a sound? Can you mold it into a solid form and present it to someone? Where is the sound? It's just airwaves, vibrations passing through. Someone says, "You're a fat pig," and we get enraged. But why? Where is this fat pig they're referring to? Where is it? Point to it. Hold it in your hands. You can't. It's just a sound that has already disappeared, and yet we cling to it as if it were real. Isn't that foolish? It's just a passing vibration. The sound is already gone. Why hold on to it? Why get angry over it? Are we really a pig? Now let's go deeper. Where is the self that feels insulted? We think, well, here I am standing right here, hearing these words. But what is it that's standing here? It's just this voice, this incessant voice that has been speaking since the moment I began talking until now. It's nothing but this voice that keeps speaking, all on its own, continuously, moment by moment. And yet we keep clinging to it, believing it to be real, believing it to be me or mine. But is it really? Observe it closely. What is truly there? Only sound, only thought, only vibration, nothing more. Why do living beings rely on sound? Do we realize that we are the mind, the formless, clear, pure life element? This voice is not truly ours. It is merely a fabricated phenomenon, a manifestation of the mind, a function of the mind. Think of it like this. The egg white is a manifestation of the yolk, and the shell is a further manifestation of the egg white. But we mistakenly cling to the shell, believing it to be ourselves. Wake up, realize that we are not the shell. The shell is merely a protective casing. If we crack the shell and discard it, what remains is the egg white encasing the yolk. We then believe that we are the egg white, but we are not the egg white either. The egg white is not who we truly are. We are the yolk inside. Now, to truly discover who we are, we must first remove the shell. We are not the shell, but how do we realize that we are not the shell? By removing it. Once we discard the shell, what remains is the egg white. We look at the egg white and think, this must be me. We feel surrounded by the egg white, so we assume we are it. But to see the truth, we must peel away the egg white as well. Once we do, we come face to face with the yolk. Tears flow, and we realize, oh, I am the yolk. I always thought I was the shell, the egg white, but I am the yolk within. The tears are tears of awakening, of realizing we have been mistaken all along. In the same way, to truly understand that we are the mind, the pure, formless life element, it must be taught, repeated, and emphasized over and over again. If someone had taught us this since childhood, we would have been liberated a long time ago. We would have lived without suffering, light and free, knowing from a young age that we never truly existed as human beings in this world. But since no one taught us, we were conditioned to think, remember, and believe that we are human. From the moment we are born, we are taught to think, to remember, to identify as human beings struggling to survive. In school, we are taught to think and memorize, to chase after food and shelter. At work, we are taught to think, to remember, to believe that we are human, striving to make a living. The world teaches us to believe in the self, to cling to the illusion of self. But no one in this world ever tells us, you are the mind, you are the formless, clear, pure life element. You have no self, no form, don't foolishly cling to anything in this world, simply use it. Don't suffer over anything, because everything you rely on is temporary, without true essence, without self. Yet, without this teaching, we cling to the shell, to the egg white, to every fabrication, and in doing so, we bind ourselves to suffering without end. If we do not cling to anything as mine, we will not suffer over anything. If we do not believe that this body is ours, then whatever happens to it, whether it aches, gets sick, or deteriorates, we will not suffer. Why? Because it is not our body, and thus there is nothing to be affected by. Someone may insult us, call us fat pig, or say anything they want, and it will not hurt us, for it is not our body. Whether we eat a full meal or remain hungry, we will not suffer, because it is not our body. We will simply care for it as necessary, using it as a vehicle to proclaim to the world, we have never truly been born in this world. There is nothing here that is truly us. Every one of us is merely inhabiting this vessel for one single purpose, to learn the truth of what we truly are and how to live without suffering. And how do we do that? By seeing clearly that there is nothing here that is truly us. The pure element, the mind, the life essence. It has no form, no voice, no images, no emotions. It has no happiness, no suffering, no indifference. It is beyond all emotions. It has no memory, no perception. So what is there to suffer over? What could possibly be grasped and clung to as me or mine? I have told you that we are the immortal element, the life essence that is utterly clear and pure. I have told you that we are the yolk, but we don't believe it. How can we be the yolk, we say? All we see is the eggshell. We kept arguing, saying, no, it can't be the yolk. There is no yolk. There is only the shell and the egg white. But I keep explaining it over and over. This is the nature of human beings. We cling to the belief that we are human, and thus we believe that we suffer. We cling to the belief that we are this body, and thus we believe that we experience both happiness and suffering. We cling to the illusion of self, and thus we keep spinning in the cycle of joy and pain, never seeing that what we truly are is the clear, formless, and unconditioned life element, the yolk that has always been there, hidden within. I am not here to teach you to believe. I am here to teach you to see the truth. The body dies. That is the truth. Have you ever seen someone die? Have you ever seen an animal die? Bodies die, but the mind, the life essence, never arises, never ceases. It is the immortal element, the pure, empty, clear essence that pervades the entire universe. What can ever be born or die within that? It has never gone anywhere, never come from anywhere. It has never arisen, never disintegrated. It is the primordial element. The entire universe exists within this primordial essence. The universe is constantly in flux, stars colliding, explosions erupting, destruction and chaos everywhere. But within the pure, empty clarity, nothing is ever disturbed, no matter how violent the explosions, whether it's millions of atomic bombs going off in one place, or suns and black holes imploding and consuming everything in their path. None of it can touch the pure, empty essence. All these occurrences take place within the vast, clear emptiness, while the empty clarity itself remains utterly unaffected. Therefore, the voice that is speaking right now, it can say anything it wants, but it can never affect the pure element. As long as we are not foolish enough to cling to the voice, it cannot harm us. This voice is just a phenomenon, it is not who we are. So why suffer over it? Let the voice say whatever it wants. It is just a sound, nothing more. The truth is that this body will disintegrate and die. Before that happens, we must awaken to the true nature of the mind. If we do not realize that we are the clear, pure life essence, we will continue to be reborn endlessly. We will cling to new vessels, inhabit them, and then die again, only to grasp another form, begin anew, and die again. This cycle of birth and death will continue endlessly, a prison of constant becoming, aging, sickness, death, anger, hatred, vengeance, and then grasping yet another body. We will continue to consume and be consumed, suffer and die over and over again. How utterly foolish, how utterly pointless. Isn't it time to wake up? When I realized that my mind was clear, pure and light, everything exploded and dissolved. In that moment I saw clearly there was nothing that could be called me. What have we been clinging to? And then it became unmistakably clear that there would be no more rebirth. This is the last life. The realization was complete. It filled my entire heart. This is the wisdom the pure element seeks, the understanding of who we truly are. That's all it wants. Well, we are incredibly fortunate to have been born as humans, the most advanced vessel, and even more fortunate to encounter someone who points the way, who teaches about non-birth, about the mind, about the pure life element. We must share these teachings with everyone in the world. Let everyone listen to my tapes. Once they understand, they will no longer be reborn. They will no longer suffer over anything. Conversations will revolve only around the mind and the pure life element. People will speak only of lightness, clarity, and freedom, the state of not clinging to anything anymore, of understanding that nothing is truly me. When everyone speaks only of this, they will begin to turn inward, to observe themselves, to see the natural state that is light, open, and unburdened, the state of not clinging to fabricated phenomena. They will awaken within and remain awake, free from harming one another, free from anger, hatred, and vengeance. There will be no more gossiping, no more slandering, no more backbiting. The mind will no longer be drawn to external phenomena, but will remain awake within, observing clearly. And what will they see? They will see that the inner voice keeps speaking all the time. But who is it that is speaking? The one who is laughing. Who is it that is laughing? The one who is imagining right now. Who is it that is imagining? The one experiencing all these emotions. Who is it? The one perceiving. Who is it? All that will be seen is that these phenomena are simply functions of nature, performing their duties. The nature of sound functions as sound. It has no owner. The nature of mental images functions as imagery. It has no owner. The nature of emotions functions as happiness, as suffering, as neutrality. They have no owner. These are just natural phenomena doing what they do, arising and passing away on their own. Memory performs its function of remembering or forgetting. Perception performs its function of knowing. Whether we intend to perceive or not, it perceives on its own. It hears on its own without being told. It smells on its own. It sees on its own. It perceives through eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, all on its own. Can we see that it is all functioning on its own? It is simply nature doing what it does. Even the body, the vessel, functions on its own. It breathes by itself, the heart beats by itself, it feels full by itself, it digests by itself, it moves by itself, it blinks by itself. Everything is happening automatically. We are merely observing it. We are merely witnessing the natural functioning of phenomena that were never ours to begin with. This body won't last long. It will die soon. The time remaining is brief, so we quickly awaken to the mind, quickly understand the mind, and listen to my words often. Awaken within. I have many people who have already realized the mind, who have awakened to the pure life element. It doesn't take long. You will feel light, open, and tears will flow, an extraordinary feeling in the heart. This is the sensation of the mind breaking free from fabrications. That's all it is. We simply awaken, notify the mind, and reconnect with the pure essence. Awaken to this truth, and you will understand everything, that we are the formless life element. Who would have ever thought that this body is not our body? Who would have ever thought that these thoughts we think are not ours? Who would have ever realized that happiness and suffering are the same? Who would have known that emotions are not truly our emotions? Who would have seen that the knowing happening right now has no one behind it? Who would have known that everything is simply nature functioning on its own, that nothing is truly me or mine? Who would have ever guessed that we have never actually been born in this world? Who would have known that what we have been seeking all along already exists within our mind? Who would have known that the truth is present with us all the time, yet we simply didn't see it? Who would have known that liberation from suffering could be this simple? We have been utterly foolish, clinging to the belief that this body is me. But no one ever told us otherwise. No one ever dared to say, you have never actually been born in this world. This voice that is speaking right now, it is merely a language, a tool we are using only to let it go. Mental images are just tools we are using only to let them go. Emotions are tools we are using only to let them go. Memory, perception, these are all tools of nature that we are using one last time only to abandon them. We have been relying on them for so long, but now this will be our last lifetime. We will not be reborn again. We will no longer rely on the voice, on mental images, on emotions, on perception. This is the final time we will inhabit these tools. After this, we will no longer need them. We will be free. May all of us listen to my recordings diligently. Make a firm vow to yourself from this moment onward to regularly listen to this Dhamma. Let every mind bear witness, starting right now, that we will listen to these teachings, awaken to observe the mind, see the thoughts, see the mental images, see the emotions, see the awareness, all as mere natural phenomena, not as me or mine. We will no longer foolishly cling to these manifestations. We will not be reborn again. This will be our last lifetime. Let every mind bear witness to this. Once we awaken to the pure life element, we will teach everyone to listen to these recordings, to liberate everyone from suffering completely. Let us all make this vow. The resolve will fill our hearts, and before long we will awaken easily. Now the time is right. I will end here. May all of us quickly awaken to the mind, to the pure, clear life element, instantly and without delay. May it be so for each and every one of us. If you're interested in these teachings on awakening, mind observation, and transcending suffering through wisdom, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your insights in the comments, provide productive feedback, and if you find this content valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.